Go ahead. Let's let you read.
So I'm going to read from very close to the end of Flights of Treason. And so that it is in no way a spoiler, I will insert her ally, Tesha, the main character you will hear. She is at this point, the whole series, the main character, Tesha, starts out reluctantly using magic. It's a forbidden thing in her world, and she does not know much about it. She's a priestess, so there are certain allowed things that magical things that she does and learns. And she's already delved outwards from that because she's very curious and smart and, slightly driven. But by the time we're in this fourth series, she hits a point where she really does not want anything to do with her magic. It has nearly cost her the life of her daughter, but she must embrace it eventually. So this is the very end. She is there. There is an enemy. There's a whole battlefield in front of her. This is just a very magical piece of it. So there's a Bronze Age war going on, but there are also sorcerers on both sides. So it's a multi-leveled battle. And she has an ally, and I'm not naming that ally. I will just call it the ally sorcerer. So it sounds slightly strange when you read, but that's what I'm explaining. And then there is the enemy, and I do not include his name because you also do not want to know that. And he is a demon sorcerer. So that explains so that it makes sense. I will read from close to the end of Flights of Treason. With a shared look and nod, the two sorcerers fired off their dual magics aimed at the coils of snake rearing up from the roof edge of a 4-story tenement. At Tesha's side, her sorcerer ally swayed and his knees quivered. A twisting blast of wind wrenched their enemy, but the serpent held steady, raising his hooded eyes and flicking his black tongue, so that Tesha felt the full surge of his magic directed at her. The air she drew in choked her with the texture and smell of ash. She closed her eyes and imagined her own magic clearing her airways, shoving back this polluted power. With Tesha's gaze freshly directed at the demon, an even more powerful wind gusted from her fingertips and lashed against the scaled coils. Darkness once again flickered across her vision, and she pressed her palms forward with all her magic, feeling the ally at her side doing the same, so that the demon sorcerer flew off the roof. Adding as much force to his fall as they could, they slammed the writhing serpent onto the cobbled street. The giant snake lay broken, its head resting sideways, one glazed eye staring unseeingly upward. Clots of red spattered the rough surfaces of street and mud brick walls around him. Like tree branches stripped by a storm, his thick coils had crashed into tortured rents and ruptures. To her blind sister, Daniti, Tesha called out, "He's down!" Tesha gave her ally a cautious look. She saw the same question in his eyes. Had they finished off the fiend? She asked, "Do you have strength left to send another attack?" "Possibly. A killing blow in case? Should we shape it like a spear to his head?" Tesha waved her finger at the single visible eye. "We'll aim for that eye socket." Then she searched inside herself for any reservoir of power she could still throw into this blow. She drew up what she could, felt her heart race alarmingly as she spun in more magic. Her strength was giving way. She nodded, and together they shot out a sorcerer's spear. But before their glowing weapon reached the demon sorcerer, The mangled loops of scales tightened back into coils, smoothing each break into rippling vigor, raising the battered head so that it dodged their lethal point. With unbelievable speed, his myriad wounds smoothed over as if they had never existed. Grounded on the bloodied street, the serpent demon rose higher than any of the buildings around him. His scales expanded and took on an iridescent sheen of sorcerous strength. He scorched the air with the glare from his hooded eyes and each flick of his poisonous tongue. Tesha felt a hovering moment, a respite from attack, granted to her while her enemy completed his restoration. Or was it more than that? Was he transforming into something even greater? Either way, she knew the pause would not last long.
That was excellent. Really wonderful.
Very, very good.
Well, thank you.